Hey guys, this is Slazer Gaming here, coming at you with a quick match from Heroes of the Storm. This time I'm playing as Illidan. We have, as you can see, we have a Falstad, a Johanna, a Nova, and a Gazelle on my team. We are against a Nova, a Sylvanas, and 3 tanks. Muradin, the new one Artanis, and Arthas. Now, on this kind of map, I know we did a quick match, so everybody was probably solo queued on the enemy team. There may have been a couple duos, but I doubt it. A triple tank is not the best comp for this map. Now, if they had had 2 specialists and 2 tanks, they would have been set, because 2 specialists for the shrines is great. We have Gazelle, they have Sylvanas as their specialists. Now, there at the beginning, I was trying to figure out where we were going, because I was going to go mid with Nova, but Joe was trying to tell me, go bottom and with Falstad and they'll take mid, but they didn't type it out, they just tried to motion it. So, there was a little confusion there between us. Alright, Gazelle's kind of putting himself out of position there, because he's got Arthas, Artanis, and Nova. That right there, yes, it is important to keep your turrets down, and yes, it is important to keep those vision things for you, but you don't want to do that when you know you have at least 2 people up there with you. He had seen Artanis come up, and he had watched Arthas go by. You don't want to put yourself out of position, and when he went for that piece, Arthas came down, Nova came up, and Artanis came out. Okay, here, Gazelle was kind enough to warn Joe, because she was in the middle on her own, that Nova is incoming. I'm standing here, I'm watching all the visible areas we have right there, trying to find Nova wandering around, because if you watch carefully enough, it's more difficult to see on the darker maps, such as the Infernal Shrines and the Haunted Mines. But you can find it if you look hard enough. You can see a little shimmer of Nova's cloaking ability, which looks like almost like the elite cloaking ability from Halo 2. Now Gazelle right here, once again, puts himself in a bad position. He's got 4 people, he's got low health, and this was just stupid on my part. I don't know why I did this, I just dove in. Very poor decision. Because now the shrine is up, I'm dead, Gazelle's dead, recently revived. So now we're completely out of position with all of them in there. However, Gazelle and I were able to do enough damage to Artanis and Nova that both of them are low. Arthas ends up coming out low health. Nova gets herself killed here, but she's able to take Arthas down to nothing so that Sylvanas, or that Gazelle and Joe can get her. Now, everybody's dead once again, Gazelle's running away, and once again, I don't know why I did it, I just did it. I charged in here as an Illidan, end up getting myself killed. Gazelle ends up, I think, getting killed by Sylvanas' poison, but he may survive. Okay, yeah, he survived it, okay. But, I put myself out of position, having to back, and now having to come in. Now, early fights, a tank comp is really good because tanks can do a lot more damage than, say, an assassin like Illidan. Illidan won't be able to keep up with the damage that Arthas, Muradin, and Artanis can do. He's just his build is kind of mid to late game build, whereas tanks, their main damage is mostly early game. There are a couple tanks who late game can out damage anybody, but for the most part, they're early game damage. Now Nova there is trying to hold the shrines. Poor decision on her part. Most of her team is either dead or retreated. She should have just run away. She ends up getting herself killed, and I think we're able to get the Artanis kill. No, he's able to get away. Okay, we force Artanis back. However, both Nova and Falstad are having to go back, and we have Sylvanas, Arthas, and Muradin coming back in. I'm low health as you can see here, but I pop my shield at just the right time that I'm able to get it. We get Sylvanas trapped up there on top. We are able to get the Muradin and Sylvanas kill. Now Nova's having to run around, not sure what to do. Tries to get me with her snipe, but I get behind the Punisher, and she ends up hitting him, which then pulls him onto her for a brief period. Does a lot of damage. Artanis is back. Nova does a smart thing, puts her clone down. I backed to get health because I didn't want to continue pushing. But Nova puts her clone down, which then acts as a player for the Punisher. So when you start attacking the clone, the Punisher attacks you. Now granted, he didn't do a lot of damage to the forts. Yeah, he helped us take out the wall forts, but he didn't do a lot of damage to the back forts. Here, Joe gets herself in bad position as well as Falstad, and both of them end up going down. Now, I'm doing right here with Illidan what pretty much your job as Illidan is to do. Illidan may not be a specialist, but he is a camp taker. He can solo them pretty much from level 4 and on. He can solo every camp there is, except for a boss. So you want to leave him to do that. If there's a team fight, you definitely, unless you have basically no health left on the guys on the camp, like that right there, the top guy there, unless you have no health left on them, you leave the camp and you go into a team fight. Here you can see Nova tried to help in the team fight, ends up putting herself out of position with Joe and Falstad around her, and then trying to run away. I get onto her, Joe's on her still, we get her. Artanis took the siege camp that I wasn't able to get to fast enough, but we're able to keep Artanis trapped in here. His dash is gone because he used it for an attack, and now he's out of position. They're both dead, and the shrine, I don't think the shrine is up at this point yet. I don't think the next one is popped. Yeah, there it is. So he's down. He'll be back up when the shrine has about 5 seconds left. However, he will have to get there, which will take about 4 or 5 seconds to get there from the spawn. So he will be out of position for when the shrine starts. Now, I go ahead and start the shrine because Gazlo pops up top. We immediately get on Sylvanas, or Mirrodin and Arthas taking out their 2 main tanks. Nova gets the Falstad kill. I end up trying to run away because I'm low health. Mirrodin chases, I jump back in and get him. I do a circle, come back on Nova chasing Gazlo, and we end up getting the kill. Now I end up dying, but we took 3 of them out, and it's 3 of us left. So we did a 2-for-2 trade because of that. Nova and Gazlo come back in to help Joe. Artanis is forced to run away. I don't always recommend chasing when they have low health. Nova chases here, and it kind of worked out for the best because she got the Artanis kill. She ended up dying, yes, but she took Arthas out of the fight against us for that short bit of time, enough to give us a 10 or 8 or 10 top lead on them. Okay, yeah, Falstad did an ult, was going to be good, but ends up missing it just by a hair. Doesn't do a lot of damage. We get the Nova kill, Mirrodin's down, we're all back in, Joe and Nova are out still. Falstad and I end up getting the Arthas kill. I'm chasing after Sylvanas, pushing her out of the fight. Fight a little bit with Artanis, force him to keep out of the fight. This gives Gazlo the chance, even though he's low health, he has the chance to finish off that shrine. And we get the Arcane Punisher, which is by far the best, because he puts down those little spinny things. Because unlike his little circles the other ones do, where the little things pop out of their back, this one does a constant damage to everything around it. Okay, we end up getting Sylvanas killed. Nova uses her ult, does a little bit of damage to Mirrodin, but because he's in his ult form, he doesn't take as much. And she put herself in a horrible position. I don't normally play Nova, but I have a friend in the clan that I mentioned on my blog that he is rank 5 or 6, and his main is Nova. And he and I played with together as him as Nova several times. And here you can see I'm taking the Bruiser camp again. Our Bruiser camp will be up shortly, so I head over that way. But anyway, he told me all about the positioning, the way you think for positioning as Nova. And in that position, she should have been on the outside of the wall, used her ult, and then popped in with her snipe ability and taken the damage. Because if she had ulted first, Mirrodin didn't have his ult off yet. She could have done enough damage to Mirrodin and sniped him. Okay, they're in a team fight. They obviously have the advantage, so I'm not too worried about getting back too quick. Gazlo's running away because he has no health. Falstad has low health now. I come in finally. They trying to run away. I go this way. Now, one thing I always suggest is check those points. If you have an Abathur or a Murky, they like to hide there, and Murky likes to put his eggs down there. Okay, we get the Artanis kill. I end up taking a lot of damage from Nova's ult, but my shield ends up blocking a little bit. Okay, Joe pushed hard on them, so I jumped in to help her. We end up getting both Sylvanas and Arthas down, so for the next 10 seconds we have a 5v3 on the map. Unfortunately, the temple will be down still. Temple won't be up when everybody respawns, but Arthas and Sylvanas will have about 6 seconds to get there. Now here, when you have an Illidan on your team, like I mentioned before, Illidan can take a camp on his own from any level, from any map, from level 4 and up. He can't take a boss solo until he gets higher level, but he can take the rest of them solo. You do not, unless he is about to be ganked, you do not have to help him. Because Joe could have backed and gone there and been there in this fight instead of showing up late. Now normally as an Illidan, I always take his demonic form, because it adds damage and it adds speed when your attacks. But in this comp, I decided to go ahead and take the Hunt because it stuns a specific enemy. And there I targeted Arthas, which then drew Artanis, Mirrodin, and Sylvanas in. Nova put herself out of position, ended up dying. We ended up doing a 1-for-4 trade, as you can see I said there. Mirrodin and Sylvanas and Nova and Artanis all caught themselves in Nova's ult because they tried to kill me. They ended up killing me, but they got stuck inside of Nova's ult, taking a lot of damage and enabling our team to get the kill on, which then allowed us to easily take the Punisher. Now, as you can see, I don't have a lot of damage. In fact, I'm the slowest on our team, but I keep the camps up, as you can see here. Pretty much constantly, every camp is pushing for us on this map. And as an Illidan, when there's no big team fights, especially when you have the advantage with 2 of them down and a Punisher, you constantly need to keep the camps up. As you can see here, I went from that siege camp, I'm now on this siege camp. That one's got about a minute left. I don't think I'll have enough time. I don't think it'll be low enough when I finish. Now, Sylvanas came in, wasted her ult there. Yes, she pushed them out, but they were about to retreat anyway. And she wasted her ult that could have been used in this team fight here to interrupt that ult, and silence us, and they could have won that fight. Now, I jump in there on Sylvanas. She's trying to run away. I end up jumping on her and killing her. We get the Mirrodin and the Arthas kill from them trying to save her. Nova and Artanis are now forced to just kind of skirmish back and forth to help. Nova uses her ult, gets me a little bit, and gets Joe. Artanis' ult ends up killing Joe, but we get the Artanis kill, so now it's a 4v1. Gazlo starts taking the bruiser camps, which is great in this position. I'm too low of health to take that type of bruiser camp. So I decide to go bottom and start taking siege camps. He's keeping the bruiser camp alive up top. I may have low health, but as an Illidan, because you heal yourself and you have a shield and your attacks reduce your cooldowns, I can keep it up. I can keep my health up long enough. As you can see, I started at about a quarter. I'm up a little over half because of that. Now I can run mid, grab the well, and I'll be full health by the time we get to the fountain. Okay. Now Falstad put himself in a really bad position there. However, he was able to get Mirrodin to pop his ult, Nova to pop her ult, and Sylvanas to pop her ult. I run away, the rest of the team shows up, I use my ult, we run in, we get Mirrodin down, Artanis goes down quickly, Arthas comes in late, I chase after Nova and Sylvanas, I chase Sylvanas down, I end up getting killed here. However, I was going to die regardless. If I tried to run away, Arthas would have caught me because I didn't see him coming in. When you know you're going to die, do something that is going to benefit your team in one way or another. In that, I forced Nova to have to chase me down because Sylvanas was low enough health that if she hadn't chased me, I would have killed Sylvanas. So Nova had to go help Sylvanas. Arthas had to pause to see if he was going to need to go help as well, or if he could go in. That enabled Gazlo and Joe to finish off the camp, the shrine. Now we have Nova and Joe pushing with the Punisher, keeping the lane clear. Gazlo's grabbing the next bruiser camp that popped up. We now have a 4v4. We both died about the same time, but during that fight, it was just me down, and they had 2 of their people down. Frozen Punisher, once again, Nova there times her ult poorly. She should have waited, and either that or popped it right on top of him, or just behind him, so that he couldn't run out of it. Because it's a big enough circle that if you pop it at just the right time, they don't have enough time to get out of it. And he had used his jump to escape, so he couldn't have jumped out of it. Now, the Punisher ends up keeping the heroes off of us long enough. Nova, on their team as well, wastes her ult on a Falstad, which I would suggest if you're going to ult a Falstad, try to make him use his dash first. However, this puts all of them out of position that Artanis and Sylvanas are able to use their ults and get the team down. I am taking this camp, I am running away because I know they were all bottom lane. I don't know where. Now, I was running in with the camps, then I realized all of our teammates were dead except for Gazlo and myself. So I decided to just kind of stay middle. Now, I'm killing this wall. Normally I don't kill walls because there are certain heroes that their auto attacks heal them. But as you can see here, they provide a line of sight. Not a lot, but a little bit. I cleared that because that allows our minions to clear without being seen, and more importantly, it allows Gazlo to kind of move around mid with his turrets without being seen by the enemy team. Okay, Gazlo and I are kind of just messing around waiting for our team to pop up. Now that they're all up, we're going in. Now, I've used my shield already, so I'm waiting on my shield to come back. I'm about to die. My shield pops up again. Falstad times her ult perfectly this time. Gets the ult in, does a lot of damage. I'm able to run around so Artanis' ult, use my ult on Arthas. I jump out of Nova's ult, which enables me to stay alive, and we start pushing. Sylvanas uses her ult there, but only gets Falstad, which was a poor use of her ult. Artanis ends up running away. We've killed Nova and Arthas. Muradin and Sylvanas are trying to push, but I'm able to push them back with the rest of the team there as well. The rest of the team just stays there. Joe pushes. I go up and take the siege camp, or the bruiser camp, because the shrine is up, and we have Gazlo and Nova there. 2 of them are down, and we have 2 people pushing. Now, once again, Joe should have been on the shrine, or she and Falstad should have stayed mid to keep the enemy team at bay. There was no need for Falstad and Joe to come up and help. It didn't make it go any faster. It didn't help at all. It just put both of them out of position. Instead of pushing, they're now back there trying to clear minion waves. They should have been on the shrine or pushing the lane. We ended up getting a Mortar Punisher really quick. The enemy team doesn't even get a chance to push back against us. So, now you can see Nova here. She's trying to scout to keep an eye on where we are. She ends up getting an ult down on the Punisher, but not on me. I'm able to dodge the ult. Our Nova also misses her ult. However, their Nova got the double shot. As you can see, she got the double shot ult. So she was able to use 2 ults. Both of them missed them. Gazlo and I, while the Punisher's pushing against the enemy heroes, our heroes push the core. Ends up getting a kill on Artanis. Gazlo and I clear the top lane, giving us another set of siege minions coming in, as you can see on the top lane. They're coming in shortly, so if we had to defend against the heroes, another wave of minions was going to come in. As you can see here, we end up ending the game with 2 lanes of siege minions on the fort because Gazlo pushed for us. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. I've started a blog you can go check out at slazerofthestorm.weebly.com. And I'm just basically going to post my opinions on the differences between League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, and Smite, and my preferences and playstyles and things like that. I'm not sure how much I'll comment on the competitive scene because I don't pay attention to it that much because I'm not a competitive player in that sense. I mean, I enjoy watching people play, but when people get upset because one person didn't do something properly, it bugs me. As you can tell in that game, I didn't get upset that Joe kept helping me, so that wasn't that big of a deal. So yeah. Anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching.